Understanding modern cybersecurity attack vectors, a comprehensive overview in the evolving landscape of digital security. Understanding attack vectors has become crucial for organizations and individuals alike. These pathways that malicious actors use to breach systems, steal data, or disrupt services continue to grow in sophistication and variety. This article explores the primary attack vectors in cybersecurity, examining both traditional approaches and emerging threats that define the current security landscape. Social engineering. The human element at the heart of many successful cyber attacks lies social engineering, a method that exploits human psychology rather than technical vulnerabilities. Social engineering remains one of the most effective attack vectors because it targets the most unpredictable element in any security system: human behavior. Attackers employ various techniques, from phishing emails that mimic legitimate business communications to pretexting, where they create fictional scenarios to gain trust and access to sensitive information. The sophistication of social engineering attacks has increased dramatically with the advent of artificial intelligence and machine learning. Modern phishing attempts often utilize AI-generated content that can mimic writing styles and create highly personalized messages. These attacks have evolved beyond simple email schemes to include voice phishing, vishing, and SMS-based attacks, smishing, creating a multi-channel threat environment that organizations must constantly monitor and defend against. Network-based attack vectors. Network infrastructure continues to be a primary target for cyber criminals, with various attack vectors targeting different aspects of network communication and architecture. Man-in-the-middle (MITM) attacks remain a persistent threat, where attackers position themselves between two communicating parties to intercept or modify data transmission. These attacks have become more sophisticated with the widespread use of public Wi-Fi networks and the increasing number of Internet of Things (IoT) devices. Distributed denial of service (DDoS) attacks have evolved from simple flooding techniques to more complex, multi-vector attacks that can target multiple layers of the network stack simultaneously. Modern DDoS attacks often combine volume-based attacks with application layer attacks, making them particularly challenging to defend against. The rise of DDoS for hire services has made these attacks more accessible to malicious actors with limited technical expertise. Application security vulnerabilities. Web applications have become a primary attack surface due to their widespread use and direct exposure to the Internet. SQL injection attacks continue to pose a significant threat, despite being well understood, primarily because of poor coding practices and inadequate input validation. Cross-site scripting (XSS) attacks remain prevalent, allowing attackers to inject malicious scripts into web pages viewed by other users. Modern application attacks have evolved to target specific frameworks and development practices. API vulnerabilities have become particularly concerning as organizations increasingly rely on microservices architecture and third-party integrations. Attackers often exploit broken authentication mechanisms, improper access controls, and data exposure through APIs to gain unauthorized access to systems and data. Supply chain compromises. Supply chain attacks have emerged as a particularly insidious attack vector, targeting the trust relationships between organizations and their vendors or software providers. These attacks are especially dangerous because they can bypass traditional security measures by exploiting legitimate software distribution channels. The SolarWinds incident demonstrated how compromising a single vendor could affect thousands of organizations downstream. Modern supply chain attacks often target development tools and repositories, inserting malicious code into legitimate software during the development process. This approach can be particularly effective because it exploits the implicit trust organizations place in their development tools and third-party dependencies. The increasing use of open-source software components has created additional attack surfaces that organizations must monitor and secure. Malware and ransomware evolution. The landscape of malware attacks continues to evolve, with ransomware emerging as one of the most significant threats to organizations. Modern ransomware attacks often employ a double extortion strategy, not only encrypting data but also threatening to leak sensitive information unless a ransom is paid. This approach puts additional pressure on organizations to comply with attacker demands, as traditional backup and recovery strategies may not adequately address the risk of data exposure. Fileless malware attacks have become more prevalent, operating entirely in memory and leaving minimal traces on disk. These attacks are particularly difficult to detect using traditional antivirus solutions, as they often leverage legitimate system tools and processes to carry out malicious activities. The rise of ransomware as a service (RaaS) platforms has democratized access to sophisticated malware, allowing less technically skilled attackers to conduct sophisticated campaigns. Cloud security challenges. As organizations continue to migrate to cloud environments, new attack vectors have emerged that specifically target cloud infrastructure and services. Misconfigured cloud services remain a significant source of data breaches, often resulting from the complexity of cloud security controls and the shared responsibility model between cloud providers and their customers. Account hijacking through compromised credentials has become a particular concern in cloud environments, where a single set of compromised credentials can provide access to numerous resources and services. The increasing use of containerization and serverless computing has introduced new attack surfaces that traditional security tools may not adequately protect. Attackers often target container orchestration platforms and serverless functions, looking for misconfigurations or vulnerabilities that can be exploited to gain access to underlying systems or data. Mobile device attack vectors. The proliferation of mobile devices has created new opportunities for attackers to target both individual users and organizations. Mobile malware has become more sophisticated, often targeting financial applications and corporate data accessed through mobile devices. Man-in-the-disk attacks exploit shared storage areas on Android devices, while iOS devices face threats from compromised development certificates and enterprise provisioning profiles. The rise of mobile device management (MDM) solutions has introduced new attack vectors, as compromising an MDM system could provide attackers with extensive control over managed devices. The increasing use of personal devices for work purposes (BYOD) has further complicated the security landscape, creating challenges in maintaining security without compromising user privacy. Insider threats and privileged access. Insider threats remain a significant concern, whether from malicious actors or negligent employees. Privileged access management has become increasingly important as organizations try to balance operational needs with security requirements. Modern attacks often target privileged accounts through various means, including credential theft, social engineering, and exploitation of legacy systems and protocols. The shift to remote work has complicated insider threat detection and prevention, as traditional security boundaries have become less defined. Organizations must now consider how to maintain security when employees access sensitive resources from various locations and devices, often outside traditional network perimeters. Emerging attack vectors. As technology continues to evolve, new attack vectors emerge that organizations must prepare to defend against. Quantum computing poses a potential threat to current cryptographic systems, while the increasing use of artificial intelligence and machine learning in security tools has led to the development of adversarial machine learning attacks that attempt to manipulate or bypass AI-based security controls. The growth of 5G networks and edge computing introduces new attack surfaces and potential vulnerabilities that attackers may exploit. The increasing interconnectedness of critical infrastructure and industrial control systems has also created new opportunities for attackers to target physical systems through cyber attacks. Defending against modern attack vectors. Effective defense against modern attack vectors requires a comprehensive approach that combines technical controls with strong security awareness and training programs. Organizations must implement defense-in-depth strategies that address multiple layers of security, from network infrastructure to application security and user behavior. Regular security assessments and penetration testing remain crucial for identifying and addressing vulnerabilities before they can be exploited. Organizations must also maintain robust incident response plans that account for various attack vectors and scenarios, ensuring they can respond effectively when incidents occur. The future of attack vector defense will likely involve increased use of automation and artificial intelligence to detect and respond to threats in real time. However, organizations must remain vigilant and adaptable, as attackers continue to develop new techniques and exploit emerging technologies. Understanding and preparing for both current and emerging attack vectors will be crucial for maintaining effective security postures in an increasingly complex threat landscape. Remember to like and subscribe.